I definitely eat a potato a day.
Eat them a day, yeah.
To keep, I don't know, the dentist away.
Yeah.
A waxier potato, I think, is a Jersey Royal rather than a floury spud, I'd say, Angela.
No, look
Yeah.
at you.
I did not come to play.
Yeah.
I'm very much a textures person.
So you're not a risotto person then, are you?
I'm, oh God, Angela. Wow.
Will eat all potatoes. That
Yeah.
was in capitals.
Never mind, I'll find a potato like you. You know what I never heard before I moved to England? Shall I do, Mum?
Do you like a pickled egg?
I'd eat a pickled remote control.
And Sinead would do this, and we'd be like, chips, or like, Hasselback.
Joining us now is born protester and one-time wrestler and supermodel.
Thank you.
We have today comedian, writer, actor and activist Aisling B is here, everybody.
Hello. Hi. Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
I watch Angela on the telly so much. Like, I only pretty much watch like television shows as long as there's a competitive edge.
Right.
And things about people who work on boats.
Okay.
And that's the only two that. And so I've watched your face for so long that I actually can't believe I'm looking at you.
Well,
I'm
she
a bit
loves
starstruck.
boats.
Yeah.
She
'cause
really loves
from
boats.
below deck. You're from below deck.
Yes, my other life.
Yeah, you know they're lying.
We also watch so much Great British Menu because my friend Ed Gamble is now one of the
Of course, yes.
judges on it. But myself and my sister, our favourite thing to do now is if she ever comes around for food and I'm cooking, she's like, "Oh, what are you doing there?" And do you feel that's the right amount of salt? Because you never give anything away in your faces. You're not allowed. That must be
Anything
hard.
you change about that?
Yeah.
Sure you're happy with
And you're
that?
like, yes, I am sure. No, maybe I'm not sure. Why am I not sure? Am I sure? I don't know. God, I don't know. And then I'm surprised they don't start telling you your childhood secrets. I don't know. I stole a pen from the nuns. I don't know what to tell you. Do you have to train to do that? Like a CIA training course or something?
You learn at MI5, didn't you?
It feels like it. No, because you know that the producer will be in your ear going, you haven't asked about the broccoli, you haven't asked about every element on that plate.
Oh, God.
And because, as this crew and Nick will tell you, I like to get things done and out the door, I like literally looking, have I answered? And I go, I've done it. And then I'm literally like, you can't ask me any other questions.
Angela, you
I've
said
done it.
nothing about the ketchup. And they're like, oh, you're happy with the ketchup? Yeah.
Exactly. And they go, no, you missed it. I said, damn it. So I find it a personal challenge to make sure I name check it all.
It's an exercise in patience for you.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, thank you for your service because I enjoy
Pleasure.
it so
It's a
much.
pleasure.
Enjoyable
Yeah.
TV. I feel like when we get the food from Angela,
you gonna
we
do
should
it?
flip the table.
Oh, really?
Like-
Are you happy with this?
And Angela,
happy?
do you feel there's enough seasoning on that tuna?
And well, nice to see you. And I feel like I've seen you in very brief passings.
Yes.
And not see you for any sort of chunky length of time.
You're in my TV show of my life. You're a sort of like
Extra.
open the door and gets a round of applause, but we only see every 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Like you're
That's me.
an
That's
actor
our
who's not
relationship.
available. Yeah.
Hey, well, see you
Yeah.
later.
Bye.
That sort of thing.
Okay.
We did see each other very greasy and lubricated.
Okay.
We went for facials.
We were, oh my God, it's such a showbiz story.
It's
Isn't
very
it nice to do a
showbiz.
showbiz story?
Yeah, go on, give us a
Okay,
showbiz
so tell
story.
Tell us.
Well, we were in Los Angeles and Hollywood, and I was in the face gym to get my face massaged for a party I was going to in the hills. And who did I meet? But Nick Grimshaw, gymmed out with his face absolutely pummeled and worked
I
on.
was like, what?
And I was like, hi, Nick, is this a place I can get rolled out? And you were on your way out, and I was in. But in the middle of it makes it feel like you're not that show busy if you just meet someone who you can meet sort of down the road when you're there. You're like,
The disappointment.
yeah.
But it also was quite sad that it was like a Friday night. And
Yeah,
that's
I
what we were
know.
doing.
The
We were
shame.
just like, oh, quite boring. But were you in LA for a little while? Were you living out there? Were you working out there?
Yeah,
just
I
getting
tend
facials out
to.
there?
I tend to just go out for the facials.
Yeah, they are good.
No, I tend to spend about a third of my year there on and off. I quite like being there. I mean, I think that's like a thing you're not supposed to say because then it reflects badly on your personality in some way.
Why?
Because I think the subtext would be, oh, if you like it there, you like kind of, you know, health or ambition, which is
Yeah.
disgusting for a woman to enjoy, obviously. But I like the pace. I think culturally, I just like I like the sort of big brashiness of Americans.
Yeah.
It sort of suits my vibe. But I think maybe since the pandemic, I'm a bit more London focused.
Right.
Is the answer. So I feel like I should say, I run a criminal operation there. It's not that it is.
Yeah, it's just quite like it.
Oh, and my crime ring, of course. My crime ring works from LA.
We went thinking, because just after I'd left radio, I was like, I'd never been on like a holiday, not in the school holidays, because that's all day on that.
Just so you in the pool with a load of kids in armbands being like, we always see you here. Why did you always come on holiday at the same time as us?
I'm going to go on holiday in January.
Whoa.
So I was like, maybe we'll go over there. Maybe we'll live there.
Yeah.
And we did 5 weeks there. And I thought, no. Yeah, it's the health and the ambition. Two things.
Yeah.
Not the facials on a Friday night.
Yeah,
where was the LA
facials on a Friday
lifestyle?
night. That is the LA lifestyle.
God, yeah, you don't
It's a
want to
really
do
good
that.
place though. It's this thing called Face Gym, and you just pay them to sort of beat the out of your face, and you come out going, thank you,
Thanks.
and your jaw's real loose.
Yeah, I saw
And
Peter
you're like,
Crouch
hey.
talking about it on his podcast.
Right.
Yeah, and he
They've
was
got
like,
them over here now.
he was
though,
like,
don't
yeah, I
they?
went to a face gym, and he sort of made it sound
Yeah.
like,
Don't worry, it wasn't a facial, boys.
It wasn't
Still
a
the old
facial.
Crouchy you all love. Absolute legend of Reds.
yeah, but I was
Don't
like,
worry.
I've been there. Now, when we have a guest coming on the podcast, we always say, hey, what would you like to eat? And usually people just reply quite sensibly. Aisling B.
What did I say?
You said, I love seafood, fine.
Yeah.
And anything potato-based.
Yeah.
Will eat all potatoes. That
Yeah.
was in capitals. So, all potatoes.
Yeah.
How many potatoes a day are we consuming?
I definitely eat a potato a day.
Eat them a day, yeah.
To keep, I don't know, the dentist away.
Yeah.
I was brought up obviously on potatoes, but myself and my sister love potatoes so much, and we filled in this like BuzzFeed quiz of like how many potatoes can you guess, and we actually were like, what's this for, babies? Because we were like 26 out of 26 potato types. And my brother-in-law is Indian, British Indian, and Sinead, my sister, woke up in the middle of the night and was like, oh, Madhav, I had this dream that I was playing a game of charades with Aisling over what type of potato it was. And he texted me that as I was boarding a flight from Canada to Los Angeles, along with a picture of Sinead sort of looking a bit crinkled. And I was like, oh, she's clearly being mashed potato. And he was like, yeah, that was her guess. How did you know that? And then I ended up spending £40 on the internet on the plane to keep getting through. And I got every single one that they were doing. And Sinead would do this and we'd be like, chips, or like Hasselback. And I was like going into the loo on the plane to kind of like do things like this. And she was like, clearly you're a gratin. And it honestly became our favourite game to play. So we're both very passionate. And he's British Indian. All of the food he cooks has so much flavour and taste. And then we're like, yeah, but do you have any waffles to go with it? Some potato waffles. Such a disappointment.
I mean, I do love a potato. Have you ever done like a carb-free diet?
No.
Yeah.
You can tell now.
I have, and it does make you. It makes me feel like panicky, and I think there's something in a potato that does make me feel like
It's very
Yeah.
smoothing.
like grounding, like quite
Yeah.
It's comfort.
It's like a sort of like mouth spanks. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
we've got you.
We've got you.
Yeah.
You're here and
Yeah.
it's fine. That's
Yeah.
what a
You're
potato
fine.
says.
Your
you know.
potato's saying you're fine.
They do in Ireland, though. I didn't realise that things like lasagna were supposed to be served with chips as a side, like because everything comes with chips as a side. So if you go
Yeah.
to a Chinese restaurant, you'd get like
side of chips.
with the rice.
Yeah.
Love.
And so everything
And
comes
curry
with a side of
sauce
chips
as well, with
and curry
Chinese,
sauce.
yeah.
Yeah,
Always.
yeah.
Well, we have potatoes today.
We
don't
do,
We do have
yeah.
a Jersey
Thank
Royal.
you. Oh
today.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
Are you all right with that one? That was a no. Yeah, like I'm not.
It's
really
it's
that
it's better for like new potato salad,
Yeah.
but a
Yeah.
waxier potato I think is a Jersey Royal rather than a floury spud. I'd say, Angela.
No, look
Yeah.
at you.
I did not come to play. So fine, great,
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd say there's a niçoise vibes going
Yeah.
on.
Yes.
That's what you'll find.
That's
yeah.
what we're going for.
With the niçoise, I'll pick out the potatoes first, and then
I've
whatever's
put
left.
loads on.
Have you?
Great,
Potatoes,
yeah. Great.
Less of anything else, but there's a lot of potatoes.
Should we just
Yeah.
eat now, shall we?
Oh my God,
Let's do it
yeah.
now. Come on,
Guys, let's live our best lives.
Let's do this.
Make sure you've got a lot of potato.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you get a lot of potatoes.
You know what I never heard before I moved to England? Shall I do, Mum? And
What shall I do, mum?
like as
Basically
in
this.
Play it
serve,
up.
which is of course a gendered role that we should get
Yes.
rid of at this stage. But I always thought it was someone being a famous mother, like, it's me, Betty from a famous show. Like,
It just
it's me,
means-
mum. Like as if you'd play a part.
yeah, the
like I never
character
know
of
it was
mum.
like serving up.
Who's just
You know.
a woman?
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Angela, if you're like, if you've served something hot and you're still serving, and then other people, does everyone have to wait and therefore their food curling down?
Yeah, because generally,
I would
especially
hard
when
feel
I'm
the same.
At home, I generally forget stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like I'll sit down and go, that's in the oven, and then go and say, no, eat.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think that's rude. You know, people come around and
It's-
they wait. I think it's kind of ruder to make someone just sit at the table with their food in front of them, like.
I know and go, wait,
Wait.
hold now, hold no.
Wait.
I'll say when.
Yeah.
It's just very sort of Downton Abbey as a
when you're in the
concept, isn't
Ritz, and like relax.
Yeah.
it? Yeah, exactly.
So Angela, niçoise.
Niçoise.
You know what? I have the same thing with Ricky Gervais, because I always think of it like Danone Gervais, but it's Gervais, but you want to say niçoise.
Niçoise.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
No, we've done it with
First tip.
fresh
Learn how to say it.
Yeah. If you don't have fresh tuna, we've done it with fresh tuna steak. You can use tin. Tin's just as good.
But luckily you were out fishing this morning.
I
You
was
had
out
the time.
fishing this morning for you specifically. Got my
Thank God.
tuna. And just a great vinaigrette, I think, and lovely lovely eggs.
In the pandemic, I
And
tried
nice
to grow my own
potatoes.
tiny little
Do you?
potatoes. Well,
Yeah.
I tried, but it turns out you should just get them from the shop, to be honest.
Yeah.
But how you do it is you just cut an old potato in half, let it dry out, and then, this sounds disgusting, its eyes will become its legs. And
Yeah.
then the eyes sort of grow into a bit of a soil, and then another potato comes out of the potato.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And is that how babies are made as well?
It very much is. You put a woman in a bit of soil,
Yeah.
and then its eyes become its legs.
Wow.
And then another
I
potato
thought
comes out of
so.
it.
I thought that was the case. And Angela, how do you make the perfect egg? Because that looks like an egg in an advert for eggs.
She's a beauty. She's an absolute
Yes,
beauty.
go on. I know that sounds like, but do they teach you that at like day one at cookery school, like how to do an egg properly?
I don't know if they do. I think eggs are one of the things that everyone's particular about. Like, I think everyone likes their eggs in a certain way. Like, you might like yours boiled. This is a 7-minute boiled egg. Some people like 10. Others like 5. It depends how soft you want the centre.
And what other numbers are there? I'm joking. Just kidding.
Someone came and asked me today about eggs. So, yeah, this is 7 minutes. There you go. Boiling
What's the deal
water.
with those eggs that you can bury in the ground for like 100 years and then keep them out and be
Let's
like, oh,
try
better
it.
eat
Let's
that.
get
What
one.
the hell are they?
Oh, there's some like egg somewhere where you bury it, and then it's I say 100
It's
years.
Chinese cooking.
Yes. And it's like a pickled egg from the
Yeah. And
past.
then they eat it. People have eaten them now.
Yeah, but they're
they
proper
do.
like
Old eggs, yeah.
yeah, old eggs.
It's like one of those pickled ones sitting at the bar. Do you like a pickled egg? No, there's hesitation.
I love
Yeah.
I need a pickled remote control.
Pickled.
Pickled.
I've been really into kimchi of late, and I put kimchi with kefir on pretty much top of everything. Like I'd put it on a spaghetti bolognese if you gave me the chance. I'm very much a textures person, so I
Right,
like when there's a
okay.
Right.
crunch, a something else, a bit of slop.
So you're not a risotto person then, are you?
I'm oh God, Angela. Wow. Wow. I am not a risotto
You're
person.
like my friend Simon. You have texture issues.
Oh my God, me and Simon, we
You
do
and
have
Simon.
texture issues. You know those onions in a box you can get?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
crispy
Crunchy,
onions can
crispy,
save a
yeah.
lot of
We've
things.
gotta
you
have
know,
Yeah,
something
they
like
say
that.
that a little bit of
Yeah.
crunch on top. Like when I've made dinner and it's a bit like 5 out of 10. If I do put a crispy onion on from a box and a bit of chopped spring onion, you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
did Angela make this? Do you know what I mean? It does. Like,
I do that if I'm feeling a bit rough when I'm going out and I feel like I'm only a 5 and I just put some crispy onions on my head and suddenly she's a 10.
she's TV ready. Do you cook at home,
That's
Ashley?
brilliant.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I think I love feeding people more than I love cooking, if that makes any sense. So I'm not overly ambitious with my cooking, but I love it. Like I want people to be fed and have enough food. But I wouldn't necessarily be trying to follow a recipe. If there's 10 steps, I bow out around 5. And then everything ends up tasting like a spaghetti bolognese. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like, no, I'll make a curry. Oh, I'll throw in some basil and thyme, see what happens type of thing. But that's my favourite thing is to have people in my garden I don't always keep them in the garden, like in winter. Sorry.
And you eat dinner inside.
I skipped a step, I'll admit. I love having people around my house. Sometimes in the summer, we do it in the garden. But I absolutely love having loads of people. I nearly always invite 3 people too many. Right. So everyone has to sort of sit on their laps with a sort of thing. And I don't have enough knives and forks. Yeah, so do I.
I really like that.
Very higgledy-piggledy romantic.
Well, I went for tea last night, and someone there said they want to start doing a dinner party thing where they do it on the regular, and they invite like a key guest. And then the key guest has to bring 6 people, and the girl whose house it is, she brings 6 people. So she said, so you're just meeting different people all the time.
I love
so she'll
that
pick
idea.
a friend, they bring 6 people, blah, blah, and she said she just wants to like keep that going.
Yes.
Would you like that? Because
I really would. I really,
like the
because you'd have
pressure
your
of it.
safety of your pals, and then some new people that were curated. I mean, I suppose that's how so many of those dating apps started. It was basically you have friends in common, and there was some element of people feeling safer, or like your bees to a certain kind of hive, where you feel like, oh, I'd know those people. I love that idea.
Yeah, well, maybe when if I get invited, and presuming I get invited. 1, me. 2,
key
3.
guest.
We just need 3 more people.
Can you imagine that? Right, like everyone from Radio 1, me with my bag of comedians, and then like a load of Michelin-starred chefs.
I mean,
The best part.
good dinner party.
Yeah.
Really good dinner
But
party.
like the comedians would have cooked, and you're like,
Comedy, I think, is the hardest.
Yeah,
And like
it
the
really
thing
is.
that blows my mind the most. I
But you
think
know
that
what?
and
It gets really
songwriting.
ignored in award shows. It doesn't get, even at something like the BAFTAs, and I love everyone who works at BAFTA, but there's no supporting actor for comedy.
Yeah.
There's only supporting actors for drama.
I never thought about that. There isn't, is there?
And a supporting cast in comedy is so important. And if you look at so many of your favourite characters from comedy shows, even this year, Siobhan McSweeney, who's the nun in Dairy Girls, has been finally nominated for Best Actress.
Yeah.
But she's also a supporting character in that, and has never sort of gotten in the door. And there's so many and also it's a place where there's such a diversity of people playing supporting characters in comedy who will never be recognised in a lot of award shows. So it's that part of it is a disappointment that it's somehow seen as a lesser craft than drama,
When
whereas you get
actually-
less budget as well. Like my whole TV series would cost 1 episode of a drama. So there's stuff like that I'm always a little bit like, that's not fair.
But stand-up
not fair.
comedy,
It's so hard.
I think that is that was one of the things I miss more in lockdown than anything. I love going to gigs.
Oh,
but
really?
I love stand-up.
Yeah.
And and just even what, like we talked about Gervais, but I will go on and watch him doing the Golden Globes because I think that's funnier than just him doing the narrative,
the intros,
and women in comedy is brilliant. Like French and Saunders are my heroines. It's unbelievable. This
I actually watched some old French and Saunders the other night because it was just on, and I used to love it when I was a kid. And it was even funny when I watched it back. I was like, it was so funny.
Their chemistry is so magic and still is. And the fact that they've been able to go away and work on other things and become hugely successful and want to come back and work with each other, even though they don't need to, is a core thing. Yeah, Dawn French was definitely one of my heroes.
Do you prefer comedy to drama in a way?
I don't know. Sometimes you can find yourself like playing the same chords and music so much you get bored of the sound and you want to sort of explore, because the one thing that I suppose, especially if you're doing stand-up, is that people think you're a cartoon of a person that exists, and I assume the same thing happens a lot in both of your jobs, that you might be a very serious person all about food, where there's of course a whole other elements to your person, or in radio that you're not getting to explore less short bits of the sound bites of your life or your personality, as if there's not sort of sadnesses and depths and all different types of colours to yourself. And I think, especially as a performer, I find that's something I want to do as well. I remember actually the most fun I ever had was doing The Fall, which is not a comedy, let me tell you.
Hey, there's no knock jokes in it.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a laugh to himself when he murders all those women, but for everyone else, not so much.
No, quite serious.
And that was filmed in
dark
Northern
there,
Ireland.
everyone's
Filmed in Northern Ireland,
was.
and I love Northern Ireland so much. Everyone there has a darkest sense of humour, because what everyone's gone through as a community is so dark, and yet there's a sort of Irish sentimentality underneath it all. And I had the most fun doing that job, but there was no sort of laughs. Like sometimes Jamie'd wake up, I was playing a nurse who was nursing Jamie Dornan, and we thought he might be dead in the bed type of thing, and he'd wake up in the middle of takes and go, "Hey, you know!" And And I'd be like, ah, and then I'd start laughing, and the director would think I was causing, and I was like, I really wasn't. Yeah, but on those days, it was actually nice to have a different pace, and it's like comedy is really like music. Like you can hear the beat when it's off, and the moments where you're like, oh, that needed something there, or a rhythm or a pace. And sometimes it's just nice to sort of do another version of the music. And that's how I kind of describe it.
And Aisling, we found some really great headlines about you.
Oh my God.
I'm really obsessed with these and I don't know why.
Oh, there's some really, I never make it's never like Aisling B has big political idea which may change the world. It's always like, well, I presume you're going to read some of them out now.
That's exactly the case.
Yeah.
So, okay. I love this one. Aisling B appears on Jimmy Kimmel Live wearing just a dressing gown after airline loses her luggage.
That was so last summer I was due to do Jimmy Kimmel, which was a massive deal for me.
Huge,
like first big
huge.
American. Well, I'd done James Corden before, but this was like one that had been long-standing American TV show.
And also feels bigger because like he's American.
Yeah, he's American, shiny all of this kind of stuff. And then it became even better because he was having a guest host in, which is Sean Hayes from Will and Grace.
Right,
You know, the
okay,
best friend from Will and Grace. And I love Sean Hayes so much that I was a massive fan. Anyways, got a stylist for my clothes, and then it was last year's Summer of Chaos with the British Fit, and I landed in and my bags just got lost. And I was so jet lagged, and the thoughts of kind of working out where I was. I borrowed my agent's knickers, and I know you were like, oh, why did you just go out and buy them, you cheap old fool? But it really was like where I was in the hotel, there was no like local shop you could just pop to, and it was the next day, and I was just like, will I go in my dressing gown? And everyone in the UK were like, no, don't do that, but I didn't get their emails in time. And Sean was like, honey, I find that fun, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. And so I just wore, instead of a dress, my dressing gown from the hotel, who subsequently upgraded me for the free press on their show. Okay, let's go.
The penthouse.
Yeah. Oh, I did. I got the they put me in the penthouse.
Fabulous.
Because I wore it there, because there was a cheeky, not slip of the nip, but slip of the old...
brand name.
Yeah,
Lovely.
and I was so comfortable. I was so much happier wearing my dressing gown, because so much of the time, especially when you're doing comedy and you're wearing any sort of like tight dress because you want to look nice, it's undoing what your body wants to feel. And it's a pity there's no like business suit generalized where you don't even notice they're wearing a suit for women generally to wear, because you do just feel happier and floppier and like you can breathe out.
In the dressing gown on the telly.
I love that.
Next headline is incredible. Aisling B looks radiant in animal print midi dress as she departs TV studio carrying a pair of hula hoops.
I know, that was terrible. Oh my God. So the reason any paps were there, it was in the middle of the pandemic, and the only reason the paps were there was because Maya Jama was on the show. It was that sports one she did with your friend and mine, Peter Crouch.
Oh, yes.
It was like a sports show, but it was really weird. I think it was my first job I was doing during lockdown, because for some reason comedians were allowed out, you know, some of the key workers that are essential to the economy. And everyone else was wearing masks, but the people doing the show didn't have to wear masks. You already felt in a slight sort of like
bubble.
Weird world. And also, when you're normally doing a comedy, the camera crew smiling is really important, but you weren't seeing any smiling because everyone had their masks on. And it was a really like... You left going, I'm a bad person, I don't know what I've done. But I felt kind of weird. But one thing they were like, oh, do you have any hidden talents? And there's no unarrogant way of saying this, exceptional at hula hooping. Like really properly, like 2 at a time, bing, bang, bong, I can keep them forever. I'm really sexy and good when I do it. And I brought on my hula hoops to do it on the show, and that was fine. And then I was leaving, and then I saw the paps, but they were clearly there for my Jama, but started stopping away at me. And I sort of forgot I had 2 giant hula hoops on my shoulder. And so I decided to give a look to look attractive. If I was going to get papped, I'd want to look attractive. So I was giving a bit of a kind of like, hello, this is an intrusion of my privacy, but I will still look fantastic. And then the next day, the pictures came out because I'm going, hello, like this, but with 2 giant hula hoops on my shoulder, which was I looked so ridiculous. It would have been better if I'd been like, why? Because you don't know what face to give, but you're aware they're capturing it forever. So you're always trying to kind of go, and they're asking you stupid questions like, what are you doing? You're like, nothing, just walking along my road. Being attractive.
Final headline. Aisling B and Tom Hanks' son, Colin, hold hands and shop for plants as they star as an engaged couple whilst filming scenes for comedy and Mrs.
I mean, yeah, so the second
That's a
part of that
really
is the explanation.
random.
It's a really long headline.
Yeah, but at least the second part of the headline explains it. What I do love about all of like the Daily Mail and the Mirror, whatever, is they'll give you all the headline and then that's the story.
Yeah.
But oh no, that won't stop that journalismo. They'll go on for another 7 paragraphs of like, Aisling was wearing a shoe. She seemed to place it on one of her feet. The other shoe was placed on the other foot. She was wearing white socks and a black shoe. Like, and you're like, oh, well done. Like, spot the difference.
So proud. So proud.
We have the end of the show question for you here.
Oh my God.
It is in a gold envelope. And you don't have to answer this. We don't know what this is, by the way, me and Angela.
Who wrote it then?
The team have written
Oh, it's from the team.
all together.
You guys all got together
A letter each.
and then wrote a...
And they wrote a question.
Yeah.
Now you can open this question, take a look at it, and if you choose to answer it, that was smooth.
I thought I was going to take it like as a handover.
If you want to answer the question, you can win a goodie bag from the good people at Waitrose. So you can read that, and if you do want to do this or read this, then that's fine.
Oh, what, this is almost a bit like, you know, when Darren Brown, when he's like, and of course at the end, was that your card you spoke to?
Oh, yeah.
Like, holy it was a Joker card. Okay, end of show question. You are an excellent hula hooper, and if you look under your chair, I was thinking it's a bit small for hula hoops. You'll find 2 packets of Angela's stash of hula hoops. All we need you to do to nab a Waitrose goodie bag is see how many you can get in your mouth in 20 seconds. Okay, that's
Okay. I thought that was going to be a no.
First of all, how many are in the bag? It's about 25.
about
Interesting.
25.
Okay,
Okay.
wait now, let me take my rings off.
Rings
Oh,
up.
wow.
Okay, here we go. We're getting serious.
Let's go. Right, okay.
Okay, here we go. Oh,
I
you're
love
going
it.
for the
Are
full
you-
bag.
Is someone counting the time?
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be made a fool of.
Do we need to count them going in, though? We're going to have to count them going in.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, you're saying 25 in a packet. No, that's...
let me put
no.
these out like this,
Yeah.
and then we can go.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, right.
Okay, here we go. Let's see if it can be done.
That's
Okay,
3 already.
We've got
Ready?
1, go. We've got 3 in
3.
there. That's 6, 7, no, 8.
11. I'm giving you
That's
more.
10, 12, 14, 15. That's 15. That's
Oh, yeah, that's
about,
24.
that's at least another 15.
Yeah,
That's
30.
30. That's 30.
35,
I'd say 35. 38. 38. Yeah! 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 30, 15. Gone. I feel like that's the big next good Aisling B headline.
Definitely,
Don't you?
yeah. It will be.
Aisling B hits rock bottom. And Aisling, thank you so much for coming round. That was very funny.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Aisling B, everybody.